This is Nick Nilsson, Mad Scientist of Muscle, and what I've got for you today here is a review of an adjustable incline slash flat bench from Flybird Fitness. Now, spoiler alert, overall, this is a really good bench. I think it's built very solidly, and I think it has a lot of really good features to it. There are a few things that I would like to see for improvements on here, but nothing to me that would basically compromise the quality or be a deal breaker for this at all. So, bottom line, I'll start with the bottom line. If you're interested in this bench, it is a good bench. Now, let me get into some of the details of how this bench is set up and how it functions. So, this is your standard adjustable incline flat bench. Now, this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different settings going all the way to full exact vertical, which, obviously this is a good thing. You want to do this for shoulder press if you're doing shoulder press with this bench. What I find in some benches is, especially depending on how the setup is they may only go to about here, so almost vertical. This actually goes right to vertical. So that is a feature that you don't always see in every single bench. Now, this arm right here, very solid steel. I don't have any doubt this is going to hold pretty much whatever weight you want to use for this exercise, whether it's for bench press, incline press, that kind of thing. This is going to handle that no problem. It's really solid gauge steel. Easy to shift, set up, and change the settings on. And one of the nice things is, these are kind of hooked on here, so literally you can just slide it up. I've actually got these bolts set a little bit tighter so that this thing doesn't flop around too much. It's got a handle right on here so that you can grip it and move it very easily. Now, in addition to the back moving up and down, you do have some options as far as the seat setting goes. So it can be a high incline seat. If you want to do a little bit of decline work, this doesn't have the leg attachment, so you will need to just hook your legs over the edge. It's not really meant as a decline bench, so it's not something that you necessarily would want to do with this particular bench. Now, ease of setup definitely nails it on this. As far as strength goes, like I said, I don't have any issues standing on this. Jumping on this, it's not going to move. It's not going to be compromised in terms of strength at all. The shape, I'll tilt this over, you can see it's a little bit wider on here, a little bit narrower here. What I found with the material on this is, especially for an exercise like bench press, you don't want the material to be too grippy, and my shoulder blades are able to move pretty freely on this bench, which is a very good thing for dumbbell bench press, barbell bench press if you're doing it inside the rack, that kind of thing. So when you're sitting down to do the exercises, just like so, like I said, there's pretty good scapular mobility on here. That's a good feature that I like to see in benches. Now, when you're doing, sorry, I'll go back to setup here. This little knobby right here, this allows you to actually set, like if your floor is kind of uneven, which is sometimes happens like in a garage gym, maybe the floor isn't exactly level. This allows you to adjust the feet here. So you can adjust this height using this little knob right here. So if your floor is not quite level, you can basically level the bench to make sure you're on a level playing field when you're doing the exercises that you're doing, which is a nice feature that I don't see on a lot of benches. Now, in terms of moving this bench around, it does have wheels on the back end. It doesn't have a handle, which is one of the things I would like to see improved on this bench. For example, to move this bench, you will need to grip right here on the bottom part. It's very easy to move otherwise, but if it had a handle, for example, right here, that would make it a little bit easier. It's, like I said, not a deal breaker. That's nothing that should keep you from getting this bench if you're interested. One of the benches that I have that I like to use, I basically pick it up and I move the whole thing around like that. You can't really do that on this bench because the instant you do that, obviously the way these are set up, they're not pop pins, they're just leverage, so it's just going to pull right up. So you do need to use the wheels if you're going to move this around. If you got a little junk in your basement like I do, sometimes I actually need to pick it up and set it over top of things to get it out of the way of the junk. This doesn't really allow for that, so you have to pick it up, angle it, and wheel it around. Like I said, not probably going to be a downside for most people, but that is something to take note of. Now, The feet on here, these are plastic, but the actual legs are not. They're solid steel. One of the things that I found most useful about this bench is not something I ever really look for in a flat bench, but this actually allows me to do it, is using these end legs as calf raise blocks. So they're actually pretty good. You can set your hands on the end of the bench here and do a very good calf raise here, just on the end feet, on the legs of the bench. I actually don't know of any other benches that I've been able to do this with, so it's, for me, a very good little bonus. Doesn't fully replace calf blocks, but if you don't have calf blocks and you've been looking for something convenient, this is perfect for that. And it'll allow you to, like I said, hold on to here. You can even hold a dumbbell, whatever you want to do, weight vest, the whole 9 yards. This is solid enough that it'll take a lot of weight, just like the regular kind of bench would in a flat bench format. So that's another option that you can use for this particular bench. So that's pretty much what this bench is all about. It's solidly built. When I put it together, it took me about half an hour, 40 minutes to put it all together. They include all the tools you need for it. It's basically just seat bolts, bolted on here, bolted on there. It didn't take me long at all. Make sure that when you're putting these on, that these feet go towards the back, that these roller feet go towards the back, because otherwise they're not going to roll if you're pointing in this way. That's what I did. I had to take them off and put them back on the right way when I was putting this thing together. But so bottom line, this is an excellent bench. It's very strong and very well put together. It's got a few things that I would improve on the design, but overall, I think it's an excellent bench for the money and well worth the price if you're looking at a bench for your home gym or garage gym.